Have you thought about where you wanted to be in life and have no direction? Well, you are in the right place. You are tuned into another epic episode of Triona the Trillionaire podcast with your spiritual health coach, Triona the Trillionaire. Become more aligned, enlightened, and abundant in all areas of your life. She got the hair care, she got the health, and she has the wealth topics for you.
Welcome back to the Triona the Trillionaire podcast, and I'm your lovely host, Triona the Trillionaire. Now, today I have a special guest with me, Shawna Mapp, one of my very first Reallionaires. Give it up, give her some snaps, y'all, give her some snaps. So, like I said, this is one of my very first Reallionaires. Listen, you need to keep a few Reallionaires around you, okay? Somebody that's not gonna sugarcoat anything. Somebody's gonna tell you the truth. Somebody's gonna be able to help you with your self-development. Somebody's gonna be able to critique you at times. You don't need people always around you that's gonna give you, oh yeah, you're doing so good, Triona. You're the best, bigging you up all the time. You need to have some people, some people in your life that's gonna check you. Like, listen, I got your back, but at the end of the day, you was dead wrong back there, okay? So I'm gonna ride for you, but at the end of the day, I need you to know that nah, we're not doing it like that no more, especially coming into 2024. So if you hear us taking a few pauses or breaks or anything, Shawna is with me. Let's do it like a matcha cheer, we are drinking our yerba mate with some spirulina in it. Okay, so if you hear us taking a few pauses, if we're like or anything like that, that is us taking a sip of Lily Rose Beauty's new line. Okay, so Shawna, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Triona the Trillionaire, for having me as a guest. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a mother, you're a counselor, an educator. You just straightforward, such a lovely individual. You get a lot of people together for events that you guys have all the time, and we just always have a rock star time. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Again,
where are you from?
My name is Shawna Mapp. I am from Rock Island, Illinois. Let's go Rocktown. I've been in Georgia since 2008. Wonderful place. I knew that, Rock Island is a small town. Wonderful town to grow up in. But it can keep you sheltered. It can keep you in a shell. It can keep you from just oblivious to the world. So I knew at a young age that something inside of me, my inner self, knowing that was not the end of me, that I was not Rock Island. Yes, it's a small part of me, and it helped groom me to who I am today, and I will never forget where I came from. But sometimes you have to release. Absolutely. Release in order to grow, in order to become your best self. So I went off to college, Illinois State University. Let's go Redbirds. Hey. Graduated, and I moved to Minnesota I was there for a couple years. Moved there for my brother and other family members. It was nice, but Minnesota wasn't for me. It wasn't for Shawna Mapp.
I was gonna ask you, how was that?
Yeah, it wasn't for me. Very different.
Okay.
Job-wise, it was wonderful. Some of the school-wise for my children that I had 2 kids at that time, it was good for them too. But I wasn't fulfilled. So I knew that I just needed, and I always wanted to move to Georgia. I remember taking a trip, which you probably know of, Minority Teacher Incentive Program.
Yes, okay, MTIP.
Yeah,
okay,
MTIP. So we took that trip, spring break, and we visited some colleges. And I knew that I just felt good being down here in the South. I felt good just being around my people.
Okay, that was actually one of the questions I was going to ask you. How did moving to Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, at that metropolitan area, so you're in the midst of it, how did that shape your mentality? How did that shape your business, your family dynamic? How did you grow? Because you said growing up in a small town, that was not for you. Right. But you're coming into like a big city. So how did that shape your mentality? How you grow? Let's hear everything. Keep it real with us, Shawna. Keep it real with us.
First of all, how I arrived here in June 2008. 2 kids. My son, he was 6 at the time. My daughter was 4. I just left a relationship that just wasn't. It was going nowhere. It was going nowhere. We weren't compatible in the aspect of where I saw myself or ourself. You know, so sometimes you just gotta let things go. Gotta let it go. Toughest decision I ever made, as far as leaving my children's father, who I know they love dearly and he loved them as well. So that's a tough decision as a mother, and then to move from Minnesota and to take them clear across the United States all the way to out here to the to the South by myself.
That was a leap of faith. You leaped of faith it. You.
When I set out to do something, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do something and not do it. So I'm gonna commit all the time. And failure is never an option for me. So I saw a lot of my friends that had moved here. They had to go back home. Never did I do that. Never was I going to ever put myself in a position to have to do that. But I did struggle. I did.
Let's talk about the struggle for a second. Coming down here with 2 kids by yourself, moving across the country. Yeah. How in the world did you manage with 2 kids? I only have 1 daughter. So the imagery of moving with a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, whew.
It was tough, but it wasn't tough because I knew myself. I knew my potential. And I know that me making that decision to come here, we had to succeed.
Absolutely.
And I know that I didn't want my kids' lifestyle to change far as from their day to day. So I made it probably look easy, but I did what I had to do. I held down 2 jobs. I lived in Marietta, drove far across to Gwinnett, Duluth for a job.
Where were you working?
I was working at Miramax. And it was, it paid the bills, but it wasn't nothing that I saw myself in. But at that time, I needed work. I needed work because with my degree education, it didn't, you had to, their whole educational, it didn't align with Illinois standards. So you had to pretty much go through their whole program here. So I was in the process of looking to do some substitute teaching, but we know substitute teaching doesn't pay. So I'm like, I need income. I did have a savings though, because I had a decent job in Minnesota, so I did have savings that I was living off of. But I held down that job, and then I also did some waitressing at night for a while. So it was tough because I had to drop my daughter off at daycare before daycare even opened.
Right.
And then my son, he had to get up and get on the bus and get himself to school, and then get home, and wait until I got off work, which it wasn't too long, but we were a team, we were a team. So that's just how, until it got better, that's what we did. But they were involved. I was the mother. They were involved in all the activities still. So the only thing that I lacked was sleep. Right. My motivation was there. My determination was there. Like I said, failure was never an option for me.
Talk about the Black hustle and bustle from a single mother, willing to do anything to put her children in position to win so they won't have the same life that she had growing up. Even though she did have her mother and father there, it still was struggle being in a small town, growing up, gun violence. Somebody just will, and I know this because that's where I'm from. Somebody would just be laying in the street. You just got to walk past and go to school, mind your business. So changing that entire dynamic so her children won't even have to experience that mental, how would you say it? That just,
what it does, it numbs you.
Okay, yeah. So
mental numbness, because you just get used to it. And so that's what it is. Like Rock Island, it numbs you. It numbs you from reality.
Absolutely.
And I wanted my kids to be able to feel. So any emotion, we discussed it. So we didn't discuss things back then. It's just it happened, and that was it. There was no, let me get you some help. Let me get someone that you can talk to. No, how are you feeling? You better say you're okay.
You better say you are okay. You are all right. You know? Matter of fact, they'll tell you all right. You all right.
Yeah, and I don't think that it was just intentional, but that's all they knew.
That was the mind frame back then.
Exactly.
That older mind state that you got to do anything to just get to the next day.
Yeah.
You know. So, speaking of counseling, speaking of mental health awareness and all that, why did you go into that realm? Because that's your expertise. And I've seen you firsthand be able to help some people in their most traumatic experiences, most traumatic mental states, and really allow people to even come into your home. You've taken care of so many people, and you might not even got the recognition or the thanks or the apologies or anything that you've ever needed. Why did that sector really illuminate to you so you can feel like you can do it and help all these other people out in this world?
I genuinely have a love for people. I love helping people, and there's good in most people. I'm not going to say all, but there's good in most people. So when I come in contact with someone, I'm open to hear your story. Non-judgmental. Because we all have a past. So how am I to judge you on what happened in your life? But what I am is I'm a good listener. I hear you. I hear the words that you're saying to me, and I hear the heartfelt, what's in your heart and what you're trying to articulate to me, but may not really fully know. You don't understand it. So sometimes it's talking to someone, you'll just be talking, and then it's like a light bulb will go off. It's like, oh, that's why I feel it. That's what happened. That's why I feel like this. And you not even know it, because we suppress so much. And what I'll try to bring things to light. So a lot in my family, they suppress a lot. And I'm so different from them. I'm the youngest of 9, 10 kids. I'm the baby. I'm twin brother, I'm the baby. But they suppress a lot. And I like to discuss. I like to bring it out. I like to discuss it, because we can't move on, and we can't learn to cope and to heal if we don't deal with whatever the issue is at hand. So the reason why I like counseling is because I want to see people heal. I want to see them grow. I want to see them thrive. And if you can't learn to cope with the traumatic issues that happen in your life, situations, stressors, things that you are even unaware of have really impacted your life, to allow you to not even want to grow or not even want to better yourself, to just stay in that bubble, because that's what Rock Island is. It's a bubble. Mm-hmm. It's a bubble, and no one wants to burst that bubble.
Ooh, let's talk about it. Ooh. Speaking of traumatic experiences, you've been through so many traumatic experiences with the passing of your mother, with the passing of your father even. Talk to us about that. You touched a little bit on suppressing, coping, and then bursting a bubble. Give us a full circle moment of what you had to deal with. How was that process? Just run us down.
Well, I lost my father unexpectedly. I mean, his health was good from what we knew. I mean, there's no issues, but unexpectedly, January 7th, 2018.
That was just 3 days ago. Mm-hmm.
Natural causes. Then my mother, who was a perfect bill of health, very fiery, very full of her faith, very just dynamic woman, the best mother ever, if I can be biased and say that.
You can.
I lost her 10 months or so later, October 13th, 2018, which was 2 days after my son's birthday. Then, 6 months later, my sister, who I moved down here to live with me back in 2013, she was diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma and only given a few months to live. She fought, and she received her wings in May of 2021. Now, all this time, I didn't have a chance to grieve because it's just one thing after another, one thing after another. Your father, then I'm trying to help my mother, then she passed away, now my sister. So now I'm helping be her caregiver because she's here. So that was very traumatic to me in losing her slowly, just having to watch a soul just pretty much lift up out of your life, lift up out of their body slowly. How did I get through that? By the grace of God. I'm still getting through it. I'm not healed completely, but I do know, I think about them daily, and I know that they want me to live. And they shaped me to be the person that I am today. So the time that we share together can't ever be replaced at all. So I cherish the moments that we had together. And I did seek therapy, and that does help. Just talking about it, it helps. It helps you begin to heal. And I'm still healing because you're losing parents 1 year unexpectedly. It's very traumatic, and being the youngest and having to take care of all the affairs, handle the funerals of both, and then the funeral of my sister. That's a lot. But I think people just expected me to do that because you're the strong one. You're the strong one. I don't want to be the strong one. I want somebody to come and just hug me and lift me up and say, I got you. But that person that did that for me was the man above. God, he got me up every morning.
Amen.
He got me up every morning. I remember my mother, just hold on to your faith. Hold on. And I just never let that, again, that just goes back to me. Failure is not an option. Giving up is not an option. If I'm still here for a reason. So if I can help touch, heal, inspire, motivate, uplift somebody else by my story or just inspiring them to just not be afraid to be uncomfortable. Because what I'm doing right now, it's uncomfortable. But what I do is I look at myself in the mirror every morning and say, I can do it. Scared, anxiety, fear, none of that's going to stop me from getting to where I see myself, where God sees me.
For our listeners out there that don't have as much oomph as you have, as much tenacity as you have, that is struggling with anxiety, what would you say to them? What advice would you give them? They don't know if they can look themselves in the mirror and say that.
You just have to do it. Don't think about it. Do it. Because when we think about it, we doubt ourselves. We won't do it. You have to wake up and you just have to get out of bed and you just have to go to that mirror and you just have to do it. Because in anything else, we have so much doubt in our abilities that's going to suppress you. So you're never going to want to do it. Even though you want to, self-doubt is so detrimental. So you just got to have belief. Belief through all anxieties, nervousness. And one thing you don't want to listen to yourself. Don't listen to what somebody else say. Sometimes a lot of things I don't even share with people that I'm doing because I don't want to listen to their opinions. Even when I'm not even asking for your opinion. I don't even want to hear what you have to say. So I'm in that sense, I'm a private person where I'm going to do what I want to do. because I know that's what I want to do. I don't need you to, doubt me or to uplift me. That'd be good if you did that, but I don't need that. I'm self-motivated. I'm self-disciplined.
Give her some snaps, y'all. Give her some snaps. Because that was just, if y'all didn't catch them gems, y'all need to pause this episode and y'all need to go back and listen to that right now. She just talked about mirror time. She talked about self-reflection. She talking about listening to your inner being, your inner self. She talking about giving it all to God, laying your burdens to the side, surrendering, right? And from my perspective, you're never going to get over it. You're never going to get over these people that have impactful statements in your life, that had impactful time, memory. You know, these people, you're the baby of the crew. Your sister, your older sister, your mom, your dad. These are your mom, matriarch of the family, kept the family together. So you talked a little bit about your family, not listening to outsiders, not listening to other people. How did you discipline your no when it came to not listening to people, not being private in certain sectors, things of that nature? How did you say no? How did you not go to certain events or not involve yourself in certain situations with your family members that's going through the same thing that you're going through? You have to plan all the funerals. You have to, and they telling you you're the strong one. You say you don't want to be the strong one. I got like 3 different questions in that because it was such an impactful statement. We talk about the strong friend all the time. We talk about check on your strong friend. You didn't have anybody checking on you. You didn't have nobody checking for you. You literally leaned in on your faith. That's it.
Mm-hmm. How did I begin to just say no and be okay with it? Mm-hmm. Over time, I do have a supportive partner, and he's always telling me that you're being pulled into, you have too much, you're juggling too much, you have too much on your plate. You don't need that. Worrying about me, and I thought it was just you trying to control me, but it wasn't. It was really him worrying about me. And when I got real with myself, that's when I knew. And when I kept doing the same things over and over again with my family members or with other people, and they weren't changing, and they were just taking from me and depleting me, that started to really hurt my heart. That really started to hurt my heart. And when you attack my heart, I got to cut you off.
Cut them off. We got episodes about that too. Let's get into it. Let's get into cutting them off.
Yeah.
Because it's not. Listen. Let's talk about the psychology, the mental battles that you have when cutting somebody off. Mm-hmm. Your heart is hurting. Mm-hmm. You're warring in your members. Mm-hmm. Your mental is gone because you cutting these people off. You don't want to, right?
I don't.
How do you? Let's talk about cutting.
I didn't want to.
But you had to.
I had to.
You had to.
I had to.
For your health, for your mental health.
Exactly. For my mental health and for me to be the better person that I am. If I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now and being on the pathway that I'm on if I still had them in my life. Because what they were doing is they were pulling me down. They were draining me. They were taking the best parts away from me. So what I had to do is I had to really pull myself up and realize that you keep doing this, you won't be anything. You won't. You're not going to amount to whatever you feel that your purpose is, that you know your purpose. And you keep letting them pull you away from your purpose because you're trying to help them. They know that. They know the type of person that you are. And they're going to keep using that to their abilities and using you up until you're nothing. So what I had to do was I had to just stop. You know what? Again, look myself in the mirror. Say no. And I did a lot of reading. Did a lot of just listening to other, like, again, this therapy, self-help books, and just knowing that when you say no, that's enough. Just no. I don't have to give an explanation because I used to be, well, maybe, but I'm not doing that. I'm just not. No. And I've been okay with it. And people have learned, because they used to come to me. They come to me. You know that all the time. Ask them, Shawna, do it or Shawna's not doing that anymore. And I was like, oh, well, how dare you? What do you mean, how dare me? How dare me put myself first and focus on me and be the best mother I can to my kids and be the best partner I can to my other half and be the best that I can to me and give me the opportunity to be the best me that's been set out here in this world to really help those that really want it, to really be a motivator, to really uplift, to just be a mentor, to be a student, to learn all that I can learn. But if my mentor was not there, which my mentor was all in a disarray dealing with them. But now I'm so much more focused. My mind is clear. I sleep good at night. If you don't sleep good at night, then you need to start saying no. And you need to let them go. Because once you do, you'll sleep like a baby.
Y'all gotta give her some snaps for that. That is one of the hardest things. How did you see the trajectory of your life after that, when you just completely...
It was not only affecting me, but it was affecting my family. Not in positive ways at all. And they didn't realize it. So my son, he was being tainted and didn't even realize it because he's so oblivious, and he's just a more of a free spirit and love everyone too, and just accept everyone. But when I saw that a family member was trying to take advantage of him and trying to change his mindset on a pathway that I know that God already had aligned for him, and was trying to change that to focus on something else for their betterment, not even for their betterment, just to bring him down to their level.
Yeah, because your son plays basketball. He got a full ride scholarship playing basketball,
which he loves. So there's no way that he would ever say he didn't want to play basketball anymore.
He said that?
No, but someone said that, he doesn't even love that. He doesn't want to play basketball anymore. That's not what he wants to do.
Wow.
So you're trying to taint him, trying to make him think something else because you're not even on his level. And him being a good person to try to help you out and trying to inspire you, still, when he shouldn't have to do that because you're older than him, but you should be inspiring and motivating him and pushing him to do something that has rarely ever been done in our family before. No one graduates from our family with a bachelor's degree. Not in that. No one goes to school to play a sport. I did. I was lucky enough to get a full ride scholarship to be on the track and field team, to graduate. First one in our family. So of course I want that for my children. And definitely for my son being the oldest one, I needed him to model that for his sisters. He's the oldest. So that's all that you want for your kids. You want better for your kids. So I established myself in a place where they can go a lot further and be a lot better off than I am at the current place in my life. I wanted him to shine. The family member was trying to dim his light. So when I saw that, instantly, you got to go. You got to go.
So in a sense, that made you wake up out of your pitfall, out of you suppressing
that was
the things that you had in your mind, out of the grief, the sorrow, the sleepless nights. You sleep and you can't sleep, and you had to wake up.
I woke up. Because I still was finding a reason why, I got to do this because we've had so many losses in our family, and there's good in this person and I want to see them, because I did. But I can't have more belief than you have in yourself. And I've had that for many of them. And I'm like, I know you're going to do it. This time you are going to do it. I believe in you. If you don't believe in you, then it don't matter how much I believe in you. You got to have self-worth and realize that you're worth something. And when you do, then you'll start getting that confidence in yourself and going out and actually accomplishing things. And not settling So I had to release. I woke up. I literally woke up and said, "This is it today." That's what happened to me. My mind if I'm that person, that I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna give you another chance. I'm gonna give you another chance. But just know, when I'm done, I am done. DONE. There's no coming back. Still wish you the best. Still pray for you, but just not in our household. Can't do it.
You said you gotta wake up, arise from the dead, and Christ will give you life. You said you had to look up to whence your help come from. Okay, I heard that. If y'all didn't catch them gems, then y'all need to open up your ears. He didn't have an ear, let him hear. Okay, yes. So wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up. Shawna Mapp said she had to wake up. When it came to her kids, you don't play about people's kids now. You're going to give them a first, a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth chance. But when it comes to the detriment of your children and the trajectory of their lives, oh, that made her wake up. So let's talk about, you touched a little bit on self-confidence. You talking about belief. How do you say to somebody, you know, I'm believing in you more than you believing in yourself? How do you get them to realize and to wake up just like you did? If we got listeners out here and they want to be like, man, I am stuck in a rut. I am feeling like I'm in a pitfall. Oh man, I need to be doing more. Oh man, this is not what God got for me. If you thinking like that, you already into transition to being your what, beta stage, your fourth stage of sleep, or you waking up in alpha, beta, theta, whatever waves. So you're in the process of waking up. How do you get somebody that don't even see themselves more than you see them to be like instilling that confidence in them? Or is it just a self-motivated thing? Because you say you self-motivated. Not everybody may be self-motivated.
But you have to be working towards it. You have to want it. There has to be a want. If you need a little push, a little guidance, then I can push and guide you, but I can't drag you.
It's a difference.
I can't drag you.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
Meaning that give me your hand and we stand side by side and I'll hold your hand, but you have to tell me where you want to go. And you have to show initiative. So I can't give you the blueprint of your life. I don't know where your life's supposed to be. And I can't give you my blueprint because this is for me. But I do believe that sometimes you got to fall and sometimes you got to cut people off in order for them to grow. So
So you were being an enabler.
I was enabling.
Okay.
Definitely I was enabling. So what I have to do is I had to let you go, let you fall down in the gutter, and I have to let you crawl your way back out. Because that's the only way that I see now that maybe you'll feel worthy. Think your life is worth something. Want better for yourself. Because when you give, people are only going to do what you allow them to do.
Okay.
So I keep giving. If you're a giver and people are takers, they don't go together. I can't be a giver and this person a taker and think that we're gonna amount to anything. I'm gonna keep giving and you're gonna keep taking. And then I'm gonna put a little bit more into my pot. Fill it up some. Then here you come back along, taking it again.
Okay, let's pause right there. Cause this is something that I really want to dissect. You stated you're gonna put a little bit in your cup to refill yourself, right? Because I had this coming to Jesus moment where I'm just like, I'm depleted. I didn't know how to refill my cup. I didn't know. I was going to people, and while I was going to them for help, for hugs, for love, I was still depleting myself because I was going there and I actually felt myself helping them in their despair and their just, how did you refill your cup and still continue to give? I feel like that in itself is like, if that doesn't tell you that you're a lover and that you're a giver, I don't know what will open people's minds to see that. How did you go back, refill your cup, and then still have the mindset to be able to give?
You don't need anyone else to refill your cup but you.
I realize that.
So you have to you have to cut them off at the root. You have to cut people off. So for me, I'm a pretty private person. So what I know I had to do is, again, a lot of prayer. But I also thought about my parents, my sister. Like my dad was me, my father and I, his last couple years of life, we had a really different relationship than we had growing up. I really enjoyed that time. Mm-hmm. And he taught me a lot about our family. And he told me, Shawna, they'll use you. They'll use you up if you allow them to. And I saw in his eyes the hurt. I saw in his eyes the frustration, the sadness, because he wanted something different for the family, but the disappointment. So my goal is to shine. My goal is to just do what he wasn't able to do. Bring things to the forefront. If you say, expose it.
The truth is being set free in 2024. Let's talk about that. It's a lot of truth being exposed, a lot of lies being exposed, I should say, and a lot of truth that's coming in. So that's a big thing. This is now that you say that, I really understand where you're coming from, and to look in the eyes of someone else that sees you, because some of the times we walk around as humans and we feel unseen. We feel unheard. Mm-hmm. For you to have the audacity to be able to see someone and then for them to use you after you've seen them, that gotta be a lot of strife in that.
Definitely a lot of strife. But you have to know yourself too.
Okay.
Again, you have to know your self-worth. You have to know who you are. Like I'm unbreakable. No matter what you try to do to me, I'm not. And the reason why I can say that and I live my life that way, because I treat people how I would want to be treated. Even when you don't treat me that way. But I don't want to say, some people say, oh, you should be this person. I'm not changing my character. I don't think I should have to change my character to fit in line with you, because this is who I am. This is who I am on this earth to be.
And everybody can be you.
Nobody
can be you. You can only be you.
Exactly. I know me. I know myself. And when you truly, that's what happened. I realized who I was. It's certain trying to be, okay, I'm definitely not a people pleaser. I'm not. But
you found yourself going into that route.
Yes. Just trying to do what they wanted me to do instead of doing what I knew I should have been doing in order to help them. So when I realized what I should be doing, not even to help them, but to help myself and still pray for them, then that's when I received clarity. That's when the cloud was lifted up from over my household.
Ooh. So you had to break some generational curses. You had to cleanse some demons and some witches and warlocks out of your house and all that.
Yes, indeed.
Good stuff and
indeed.
It's deep.
Yes, indeed.
I'm laughing about it, but it's definitely deep, and it's really not a laughing matter, honestly. But when you see the glory of God that's over your house, when you see that shine, that sunshine ray come in from your kitchen and your dad's face lit up in the clouds and he just kissed your forehead or whatever. When you saw that, when you embraced that, then you got that sign to know that, okay, the cloud is gone, the rain is gone, the storm is over now. And God, your dad, your mom, your sister can shine through, so you can see that. You can really hold that through with you. You got that love in your heart. So you know these things weren't in vain. So you had to sit with yourself. How long did you feel like you had to sit with yourself before you woke up, before you really got clarity, you gained clarity? Because we talk about it now and it's like, oh, it's an overnight sensation. This person became an overnight sensation. This person became an overnight success. Or this person is healed. Or they're the strong one. They're the strong friend. But that people didn't really see when you were when you were grieving, when you didn't even have time to grieve.
Right.
They didn't even know how, you don't know how long it takes somebody to get out of that. You said your dad passed away in 2018. Your sister passed in 2021. Your mom passed shortly after your father. People don't know how long that even takes to get out of the rut. How long would you say you were in a rut? How long did you say you feel like you were blinded with just a blindfold on and then you came out?
6 years.
6 years.
6 years. That's a long time.
Of trials and tribulations that nobody can even...
Just going on. But and the reason why I finally came out of it, because I realized how much time has passed. And I didn't want to waste another minute of my life being in that space. I didn't want to waste any more time. I needed the light to shine. I needed to be at a place really of peace. My spirituality had grown.
Let's dial back. Let's keep it real. What were you doing in those times? What was your coping mechanisms? Because a lot of people, our listeners, want to know. She went through this for 6 years. Come on, we can't say we was just praying the whole time. We understand at the end we were praying, and you might have been praying the whole entire time. But what was your coping mechanisms from day to day when you were actually in the thick of it? Because we got somebody out there right now that's in the thick of it. They're depressed. They're in despair. They've lost themselves. They don't know their self-worth, their self-value. They don't have any confidence. They're giving, but they're not receiving. They don't even know what they want at this point. What was you doing? What was your coping mechanisms?
What I focused on and what really helped me was something that I can control, which was my health. So the things that I put into my body. And also being more physically fit. That helped me, really helped me, because I knew I can control that. And it made me feel that I can do this. That I could.
So you saying you weren't doing that at first though?
No.
You were. What were you doing? What was your coping mechanism? Was you drinking? Were you partying? What did you do to suppress that pain while you were in the thick of it?
Before
you even came out, before you even had the realization to wake up.
I mean, a lot of me, I just was mute, so I just suppressed it. I was mute. I didn't talk about it. I lashed out. Was probably, arguing a lot with my other half. But a lot of me, yeah, I didn't discuss it. Just silently, I cried. That's not good to cry in silence. You have to let it be exposed because it's okay. But I hid it as if it wasn't okay. But the only reason why I hid it because it wasn't okay is because I felt that I had to be that strong person. You have to make sure that you're in it, that you're handling your business. You have to. So you can act like you are. You go through the motions. But that's all it is, going through the motions.
Whew.
I mean, there was no substance. So I didn't want to lose any more at that time. Yeah, I drank. I don't say I was an alcoholic, but definitely did drink without actually focusing on the causes of.
It wasn't a celebratory drinking. It wasn't a celebratory drinking. It was like, daily. I need this for my mindset.
Yeah, just to not even think. Just to not even have to deal with it. Yeah. Because I didn't feel that there was no one that I can really talk to that would understand.
You didn't have a shoulder to lean on. You didn't have the shoulder to lean on.
Nope. I didn't. Because if
Even though everyone around you was experiencing a level the same. I want a level of the same experience of what you were, because different people process things differently. So I won't say they were experiencing the same thing, but the same situation occurred in people's lives around you. That was their sister. I mean, that was their family member, their friend, your parents were known in Rock Island, in your hometown, in our hometown. They were known. So people were going through, but nothing like the baby girl.
No, it didn't affect them. I didn't feel that they showed it to me, nor did they show it to my parents that weren't there. I just felt that I can't tell you how another person grieves. Mm-hmm. I can't. But I just know that how, we did not
talk about it. You bottled it up.
Yeah. Or I'll talk about it, bring it up, and talk about situations. And then it's just, that. Mm-hmm. That's just it. It's like no one really understood. Even though people, they did go through, they are probably still are going through it. But I think when times like that, then you have to kind of become a unit. So that's what I was pushing, unity. But they were more pulling back and
isolation.
Being individuals or just being selfish. To me, it's just being selfish. Mm-hmm. Very selfish.
What? Okay, let's get on being selfish. Selfish because they wouldn't do what your expectations. Because when I think about somebody being selfish and selfless, I'm like, honestly, the person wanting that is selfish because you want me to do what you want me to do, right? Isn't that selfish of you? Because you want me to do what you want me to do?
It is, but I didn't want them to do what I wanted them to do.
You were doing it for the betterment of...
For our family, to keep us growing, because my mother, she said, she protect the kids, keep them together, and keep the family together. Mm-hmm. So I tried that. Yeah. I tried that despite all our differences that we are really aware of and all the things that we've gone through since they passed. And it didn't align again with my life. I can't be the one giving again, mm-hmm. getting us all together, putting
events together.
Yes, just all the time. Trying to reach out. I can't be that person. I can't keep trying to fill you up when I'm emptying my cup into you. I can't do that. Mm-hmm. And it hurt my heart, and it still does hurt my heart. That they say, "Oh, you're from a big family." Yes, I am, but how many of them family members do you think I can call? Not for anything, but I can just call and really talk to, and for them to really understand me. I say you can't choose your family, but you can choose to deal with them. And we're different. We're different. I wasn't even probably supposed to be here. My mother, my father, they didn't even know that they were pregnant with twins. So they had my brother, and then 5 minutes later or 7 minutes later, here I come. So
you the miracle baby.
I'm the miracle baby. Yes, I'm the unexpected. I mean,
you're the unexpected.
Yeah. But what I do tell them is, they saved the best for last.
Ooh.
Indeed, they did.
Okay.
Indeed, they did.
That's good. I like that. They say the best for last. Okay. So what are you doing in your community to impact others?
Well, in 2017, I started a back to school event. Kids are our future. So each year before school starts, I'll have a community event where I give out book bags filled with school supplies. Also have different activities and games for the families, as well as food, free food, desserts that I make myself because I dabble into baking as well.
Yeah, and I've come to some of those events, and those events are lit. It's not just like 5 people at these events. It's like 150 people at these events running around. And your desserts, when I tell you, you got to leave that recipe before you take it to your grave. You got to leave these recipes for us, because the last event I went to, that was like 60 people. Those are like the most kids I've ever seen probably in my life at one, birthday party. I was like, y'all got the baby party lit, and everybody's parents were showing up and stuff like that. So when they were taking the desserts around, I'm like, let me get my dessert. The desserts were gone. I'm like, wait, what? I didn't come to eat food and just pick out, but I was like, I did want some of those red velvet cupcakes that you be making and those red velvet cookies that you be making. Mm-hmm. So people don't make it like that no more.
It's all made with love. It's made with love. I did have a online baking company some years ago, which I'm hoping I will one day get that started back up again. In the meantime, I have on the verge of opening up a daycare center. It's going to be called Bright Gems and Jewels Learning Center. Ooh. And I have a passion for learning, but also for helping, educating our youth. I think that's where it starts. And I'm also doing this in honor of my mother, because she loved the babies. She loved the kids. Mm-hmm. She did.
Yeah, y'all house was on the corner to where everybody would stop by and get food, get drinks, especially on hot summer nights, those hot summer days. It's like, we're going to get the popsicles. Let's stop by here real quick. You might get a lesson. You might get...
Yep. Mm-hmm. We welcome everybody. No one was turned away. Yeah. It was a family. So that's one thing that I miss about growing up in Rock Island. Mm-hmm. I love that. The neighborhood, the community. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't buy that anywhere. So that's one thing that I definitely cherish. Mm-hmm. Another thing that I'm working on is in honor of my mother. It's called Annie's Closet.
Tell us a little bit about Annie's. Listen, if y'all hear our daughters in the background, they are so excited to reunite, to play with one another. They are doing arts and crafts. They are running up and down the stairs giggling. So excuse us. We do have 2 little girls, 8-year-olds. Yeah. So.
Yes, but we're going to get through this.
Right.
Excuse the noise in the background.
The noise, the pausing, the stopping. We had to pause like 3 times already to be like, shh, be quiet. We're doing the podcast, okay? We're recording now. So I'm sure a lot of my listeners have kids, so that probably won't bother y'all. But let us know about Annie's Closet. That's a great name. I like that name.
Yeah, my mother's name was Annette. People called her Ann. Some called her Annie. So this is just in honor of her. And what it is pretty much a clothing pantry for the neighborhood. And I want to actually set it up where you can come in and shop. Really shop. Really have separate the clothing. Good quality clothing. So if anything that I know I won't wear or my family wouldn't wear, then it won't be in there.
Okay.
Because if you look good, you feel good.
Right.
And I never want anyone to feel that they're less than what I am because of what they're wearing. One man's trash is another person's treasure. Mm-hmm.
Listen, I got a whole bunch of stuff that I can give you like today.
I need it. I'm collecting it. I have a storage full of shoes, clothes. Yes. Just if you name it, I'm saying you're hoarding it all. I'm keeping it because I know it's going to come in use for someone else.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I'm really passionate about that, and it's going to happen. So stay tuned to that. Mm-hmm. Stay tuned. And another thing, facet, I guess, of myself is I'm back in school. I'm back in school with my master's, which was a long time coming. But I'm a master's program, the licensed clinical mental health counseling field.
So you're not just talking this. You're literally you walk the walk.
I'm in it.
Because I can't. Not saying that I can't stand someone that talks the talk, but you're actually embodying what you're actually stating, how you actually feel. This is a gift of yours. And you're backing it by actually furthering your degree. Because we already know this is the degree, this sector that you already have. But you're furthering your degree.
Yeah.
You're up leveling. You continue to up level. You have a growth mindset. And you want to really shape the future of tomorrow. With that being starting with the kids.
Exactly. It's very important. Very important. This is when you find your purpose. When you find your purpose in life, you feel already so complete. I feel already completed. Even though it's a work in progress getting toward it, I see what the end goal is. I see me as a counselor. I already see me in that atmosphere.
You're already doing it.
I am.
So can people come and get counseling sessions from you? Like can they just pay you like $1,000 to just get counseling from you every week or something? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Not now until I get my licensing for it. But
okay.
As of right now, and I don't even call it counseling. I'm an ear to listen to. Okay. So if you need to talk about something, I'm a great listener. I'll hear you. If there's anything that I can help with, then I'll do my best. But I'm not diagnosing anything. I'm not treating anything. I can't do that yet. Okay. But I'm going to listen.
Okay. And sometimes that's all people need to do. They just need to vent. Yeah. They need somebody that they can just put everything out there and just talk about it.
Non-judgmental, unbiased, transparent. I'm in it.
Absolutely.
With you, for you, here for you. Whenever needed.
That's awesome. Y'all give my reallionaire Shawna Mapp some snaps, y'all. Thank you for coming on.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you all for listening. I hope this helps someone.
If it helps one person, we've done our job. And I know I have a host of audience members that are going through certain scenarios and situations that you touched on in this podcast episode. So I pray that they wake up.
And don't give up.
Don't give up. Don't give up. And if you're listening to this podcast, know that you're blessed and continue to be a blessing to others. Thank you. I love you all. Mwah. If this podcast has helped you in any other way, please share it with your favorite folks. If you get an extra minute, can you please rate the podcast at the end of the show notes? That will mean so much to Shawna and I. I love you all.